Are you trying AdWords for your law firm and wondering if you might be able to find a little bit more return on your investment? Wondering if there are some common mistakes you might be making and could avoid? Stay tuned and we'll talk about our top 5 legal AdWords mistakes. Hi, I'm John Delancey, founder of White Raven Technology, a bespoke legal marketing agency and your host for the Legal Marketing Minute, our weekly video blog and podcast devoted to discussing the tips, tricks, and trends in digital marketing for attorneys that will help you succeed in business. This week we'll be talking about our top 5 mistakes made in legal AdWords campaigns. AdWords is the most popular and most common platform for attorneys for good reason. It is extremely effective for attorneys. But because the legal industry is the most expensive industry to utilize Google AdWords, it is absolutely vital that you get it right and avoid these 5 common and easily addressed mistakes that we see all the time. Our number 5 pick for mistakes made by attorneys using Google AdWords is not restricting your campaign to a geographic area. Now, this seems fairly obvious and common sense, but you'd be amazed how many attorneys we see advertising nationwide because they simply haven't restricted their AdWords campaigns to the geographic area in which they actually practice, so most commonly your city or the closest cities to you. Now, this problem can be so huge as to attract visitors from Phoenix, and you might be an attorney in Orlando who just put in the keyword divorce attorney. Okay, now if you restrict your campaign geographically to your city, Orlando in this case, only people searching from within Orlando or that rough geographic area will actually see your ads when they search for a divorce attorney or whatever keyword it is you bid on. So you either have to include the city as a part of your keyword, in other words, divorce attorney in Orlando, or restrict the entire campaign to your city. This is a super easy mistake to avoid, so just don't let it slip past you. It's on the very first page when you're setting up a campaign in Google AdWords. Our number 4 pick for mistakes made by attorneys in Google AdWords is only using broad match keywords when you're setting up your campaigns. Now, what's a broad match keyword? Broad match keyword in AdWords parlance is simply you've typed in the words that are in the phrase that you want to target your ads to. So, divorce attorney. No quotes, no brackets, no plus signs, just the words divorce attorney. That is a broad match keyword. And what it means, generally speaking, is that any word in the phrase that you've specified could trigger your ad. Now, this is another very common and very easy mistake to make, so it's just important that you know about it and know how to avoid it. So let's talk about an example first. Say you're advertising as a child custody attorney. If someone is searching on Google the phrase child care, chain of custody, or how to become an attorney, any of those 3 could trigger your ad depending on other circumstances. Now, it's usually a bit more nuanced and subtle than that, but that illustrates the problem itself. So when you're setting up your keywords, be very careful to, at the very least, make them modified broad match keywords, if not exact match phrases and so forth. Now, a modified broad match keyword means that you've included a plus symbol in front of the keywords that must be included in the entire search phrase. There may be other words included in that search phrase, but in this case, we would want to put a plus sign in front of child, custody, and attorney so that we assure ourselves that only people who are actually searching for a child custody attorney will trigger our ads being shown. Another very easy problem to avoid once you know it's there and how to avoid it. Our number 3 pick for mistakes made by attorneys in AdWords is bidding whatever it takes, including allowing Google to bid automatically for you, to retain the number 1 spot in search results and the ads that are shown at the top of them. Now, this seems fairly odd to be talking about. Of course you'd want to be number 1, right? Well, not necessarily. The number 2 and number 3 spots, number 3 especially, tend to perform almost as well as the number 1 spot, but they're going to cost you a fraction of the cost per click. That's a big savings. So what you want to do is monitor your campaign's performance, and in particular each individual ad and keyword within the ad groups, and make sure that you're watching to see where your average position in searches is. If you're consistently ranking number 1 or number 1.5, thereabouts, try lowering your bid just a bit. You'll spend less money per click, you'll probably see just as many clicks, and you'll have a greater ROI to show for it. Our number 2 pick for mistakes made by attorneys in AdWords is linking your ads directly to your law firm's homepage. Oh, please don't do this. This is a horrible practice in most cases. Now, if a person is searching for a divorce attorney in Tampa, Florida, or a bankruptcy attorney in Houston, and you drop them on your homepage, which is talking about every area of practice that you can serve people in, and all of your great attorneys, and all these testimonials, and your blog posts, and everything else that shows up on the homepage of most law firms' websites, they're going to be distracted, they're not going to see the information or the offer of services that you want them to see, and they're going to click back and go to the next guy in line. That's what you don't want. So what you want to do instead is create a landing page. Now, a landing page is generally a very special page that is created just for your advertising campaigns and features only the information relevant to that advertising campaign. So if you're creating an AdWords campaign on divorce attorneys in Houston, you would want to create a landing page whose title is Divorce Attorney in Houston. Include that in a headline and talk all on your page about how you can help this person with their divorce case. Okay? Don't link them to your homepage, link them to a page that addresses the problem they were searching for an answer to begin with. And speaking of landing pages, our number 1 pick for mistakes made by attorneys in Google AdWords is not having obvious enough calls to action on your landing pages. Now, what is a call to action? That's another buzzword. Okay, very simply, a call to action is what tells your visitor what to do next when they're ready to engage your services, or find out if they want to engage your services. Now, so typically what we would see would be a telephone number or a form that would allow them to submit their name and email address or phone number and maybe a few details of their case in order to request a case evaluation. So, what's the real problem here? Well, I cannot tell you how many landing pages I have seen from attorneys in which there might be a tiny phone number in the very top right corner of the page, and then below that is a wall of text and images and graphics and testimonials and banners and everything else, but nothing that points out clearly and distinctly and obviously and unmistakably what this visitor should do next after they've landed on this page and they say, you know what, I think I might want to engage this attorney's services. So, what do you do instead? Put your phone number front and center, huge in the center of the page. Make it so obvious they can't possibly miss it. Likewise, if you have a contact form that they can use to submit their information, stick it somewhere and highlight it visually, make it a different color, make it larger than the other elements around it, but whatever you do, make absolutely certain that your visitor cannot walk away without having known how to get in touch with you. Now, bonus mistake. I have seen a tremendous number of landing pages and attorneys' websites in general that are not mobile responsive. This is a critical mistake, and if your website does not look and function extremely well on a mobile device, smartphones and tablets, then you need to stop, and before you ever spend a dime on AdWords or any form of advertising or marketing otherwise, get a mobile responsive design. Way more than half of searches done on Google now are performed on mobile devices. And when a person clicks your link to your website, whether it's an ad or an organic search result, you have 3 seconds to capture their attention and keep them on your page. And if they show up to a wall of text that they can't even read to begin with because it's so tiny, because it's formatted for a desktop monitor, I guarantee you they will click back and go to the competitor that's next in line. So, make sure your websites, and especially your landing pages for ads, are mobile responsive. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode of the Legal Marketing Minute. Now, what mistakes have you seen or experienced in utilizing AdWords for your law firm? or perhaps your competitors or friends' law firms? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to talk about it. If you'd like to have a more general background on what AdWords is and how it works for attorneys, be sure to check out episode 3 of our Attorney Advertising 101 series on AdWords. We've included a link to that below, and I hope you'll check it out. If you have any questions or concerns about AdWords, please, again, let us know in the comments. We'll be happy to address them, or use the link below to make sure you're on our website and request a free consultation in which we will review all of your legal marketing presence online and meet with you for about 30 minutes to discuss what we found, what you're doing well, what you could use some improvement on, and you can take that plan and use it with your own personnel, or you can engage our services, or you can engage anyone else's services that you might want to. There's absolutely no obligation and no cost to these consultations. We are happy to do them, and of course we hope that you'll choose one day to work with us, but you don't have to. Now, that's going to wrap it up again for this week, and until next time, happy marketing.